kids. And then you get to the Olympic level, it's freestyle. So there's a different set of rules and techniques and strategies that some of these guys need to learn as they transition from folk style to freestyle. Fortunately, the women grow up wrestling solely freestyle. So when they get to the Olympic level, they're pretty much the same style that they've always wrestled.
And Mikey Labriola, who was a 5-time All-American at the University of Nebraska, 2-time Pennsylvania, Interscholastic Athletic Association state champion. He now is transitioning over to the freestyle world, as you were mentioning, wrestling with, the club over at Lehigh. So Mikey's going to transition from being an outstanding folk style wrestler to, I know he was doing some freestyle, but his dad was telling me he's getting more used to it. And I think, with Mikey's work ethic and everything else, he's going to be one of those outstanding freestyle wrestlers in a couple of years.
Yeah, Mikey Labriola, another local product, Bethlehem Catholic, multiple-time state champ, very successful wrestler at Nebraska University in the Big Ten, training with guys like Jordan Burroughs and James Green. How can you not how can you not be successful? But decided to come back home, wrestle for the LVWC, which is really cool. So good to see a guy like that go away, be successful, and come back home and start coaching some of these club teams, and eventually I'm sure he'll get into coaching here and pass on his knowledge and skill set to the younger generation.
And his dad was telling me one time that Mikey was wrestling Jordan Burroughs at practice out of Nebraska, and Mikey took Jordan Burroughs down, and he said the next time they got into the center circle and lined up, said Burroughs pushed him like about 20 feet. Was so mad he just kind of tossed Mikey right off the mat. So
I'm sure that never happened again, right?
Yeah.
Any bloody noses or any issues, we do have a trainer over on the back end of the gym between the blue.
And we were talking about a good crowd here at Muhlenberg College.
Unlimited. Check your brackets.
Yeah, really good crowd. I think there's over 350 participants here, and like you said, multiple age brackets, multiple levels of wrestling, men and women here, and really cool event to just see some adults wrestling here that haven't wrestled in a few years, kind of coaching their kids, and I think a lot of it is, it's satisfactory for people. They lose that competition, not competing, and they come back, and they really fall in love with the sport again, and it feels good, and maybe it jump starts their getting back into shape. We see some guys that maybe wrestled 150 in high school, and they come here weighing 200 pounds, and this is jumpstart them. Hey, I gotta get in better shape, and I want to see my kids succeed, and I could be an example for that.
Yeah, and I could have been in the big men bracket, 65 and older big men bracket in college. My senior year, I wrestled 142 and 150, and now I weigh over 200 pounds. So, I've been eating good and not working out and being disciplined as disciplined as I was back in my wrestling years. But Austin, you look like you could still wrestle. What are you, about 170?
I'd be lucky if I was. I'm probably less. I'm probably about 160, 165.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, not working out as much, having 2 young kids, but just trying to eat better. Don't really do the fast food much, cut out the soda, and and my workouts are carrying my kids up and down the steps now. Little different workouts, but doing a little something physical, it's always good for you.
Yeah, I think you could still go out there and do some damage.
Yeah, maybe next year you'll be commentating me, watching my matches.
Well, that'll be cool.
We'll see.
That would be really cool.
If my wife lets me, that is.
Yeah, we'll get Danny Moran, to come back out. And Dan, a volunteer coach here at Muhlenberg. And Dan had a very, very, storied career at Northampton Area High School, where you were. The Concrete Kids, what an outstanding program for so many years, and still it continues. Joe Provini over there now is the head coach.
Yep.
Isn't it funny how some programs they don't rebuild, they just reload. And Northampton is always one of those. And how about, speaking of Northampton, Dagan Condomiti, who was a 3-time Pennsylvania State place winner and wrestled all the way back to take third his senior year. Really, I love that when kids do that. They lose that one match in the prelims or the quarterfinals, and then they just show you that intestinal grit and fortitude, and they wrestle all the way back and win every match to come back and take third. And we just saw a
big throw there on Matt too.
Yeah, big throw.
Peter Godoy of Muhlenberg on top. He's the red anklet band. He's wrestling Sam Brazer of Spartan. Godoy up 12-3. I think that's the end of the match there. Yep, third period ran out. So Godoy is your winner there on mat number 2. Saw a nice little judo jiu-jitsu type of throw there, and we're going to try and catch all the action here for you.
Last